Good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Thank you for joining me in Simply Meeks Life. This is my third video. I'm so excited. I said I wasn't going to do a countdown, but I think I'm just so excited to be finally achieving my one of my goals. And so, yeah, last video I created, I just ended this morning, was about outside life. I was outside, girl. I was outside. I was hanging, vibing with my friends, my girlfriends, getting that girl energy. You know how that is. And yeah, I'm just, enjoying life. I just ended my spring term. So that's why I was outside this weekend. I was like, I gotta get out. I've been cooped up, focused on school and doing internship. And so, I have a little break in between about, I think I have a 3 week break, kind of 2 weeks, because the last week I have to start working on some assignments. But yeah, 3 week break, and I'm gonna try to enjoy it, but I'm also gonna try to get some things done as well and start rearranging my schedule so I can start working on creating more videos and editing and uploading more videos. So my plan is to load videos every Friday. That is my plan. So I'm hoping that I can get that in. I am really trying to be disciplined and dedicate my time into my business. And so this is a good way to start practicing and getting that disciplinary action going, you know. And so, yeah, so that's what we're doing here. So apparently, I'm using my iPhone to record content, and apparently I'm running out of space. So it just cut my last portion off. I don't think you guys gonna notice, but I don't even know where I ended off at in my introduction. Um, and so yeah, so that's gonna be something and I keep looking at this side. I need to look at you guys. Sorry. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I can delete all this stuff that's on my phone to free up more space so it won't cut my video off when I'm talking to you guys. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And another thing I need to get used to is looking at you guys instead of looking at myself, because that's what I do when I'm talking, and that's a normal thing. I think everybody goes through that. So right now I am focused on looking at you all and trying not to go cross-eyed. But anyways, yeah, so this week I'm just gonna be focused on getting this office together. As you guys see in the background, it's a little messy. It's a little there's a lot of transitioning going on in this room. I will show you guys what I'm talking about later, but I will put a picture in the corner here to show you all what I might. So, guys, I don't know where I left off at, but it's later on in the day. It's almost 6 p.m. Um, I'm supposed to stop working, but I'm not because I have some school stuff that I needed to do. And so, yeah, I'm going to get that done because that needs to be done ASAP. So one of my class can go from an IP to a P. So basically incomplete progress to progress because, I mean, incomplete to passing because if you are a MFT student, then you understand that clinical hours are very important to you graduating. So I need to make sure that my clinical hours are inputted and signed off, and so they can pass my class for me. But yeah, Earlier, I was just having some technical difficulties. I have been um, I have been recording on my phone, and I have a iPhone 15 Pro, I believe, and it's not a lot of storage, so there's need to be some deleting on that phone and transfer things. Child, I'm just learning as I go. It's a lot, but I'm not gonna let it defeat me, and I'm gonna keep going. So as you see, well, you can't tell probably, but I'm using my iPad right now to record, and hopefully it does not stop in the middle of my recording because I was trying to do an introduction earlier, and it just kept stopping. So yeah, I had to take a little break, but I'm back, and I'm so excited because I don't know why I keep saying excited. Okay, let me stop saying that. But yeah, I am just doing some of my school not schoolwork, but just implementing changes in my hours so I can send it back to my supervisor, and they can sign it off. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I just ate. I had a turkey burger. Oh, I love this place. So good. George's burger. I don't know if that's something that's like just local, or is it around town, but they have like some good burgers. But I have a turkey burger wrapped in lettuce because I no longer eat bread because unfortunately my digestive system does not allow me. So I had to switch up. So those are one of the things that I needed to do after 40 is change my diet. But anyways, however, I'm drinking on a Bloom's energy drink in my cup. Um, and you know me and my energy drinks. I try not to drink them often because they're not really good for you. So I try to take a break every so often from drinking them. I haven't had coffee in about 4 days now, I believe. Um, I'm trying to give it a break because, I'm a coffee fiend, but, lately I have not been wanting it. So yeah, and I'm drinking on a Bloom energy drink. I know that all of the energy drinks are not good for you if there's not natural, like a natural herb or something like that. But I feel like this may be the healthiest of them all. I do like Celsius, but I had to get off of this one. The Bloom is zero sugar, so that's good. But yeah, so and I did stop by Marshalls in Ross. My friend had texted me in video, sent me a picture of the hangers that I wanted for my closet. And I didn't show you that either. I'm just like, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. But I think that I'm giving myself some grace because I am just starting off. And so I just want to make sure that, you know, I'm giving myself grace and not pressure myself too much to do a lot because I don't want to burn out fast, creating content. And yeah, I just don't want to pressure myself to record everything right now. I think it will come naturally when I get it going or whatever. So yeah, you get the gist. Um, it's a lot, but yeah, just I don't know, like it's evening, so the day's almost ending, and like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the motion of doing this, revising my hours and, probably chill for the rest of the night. If I don't pick you guys up today, I will start off tomorrow. And we can chat. So you grab your energy drink, water, whatever you have, and we can start off chatting because there's a lot to talk about because life be lifing. And yeah, I just wanted to start vlogging some information about mental wellness. Like I said, last weekend was an outside weekend. We were outside. We dressed up in our nice clothes. We were outside, and that was something needed for my mental health. I feel like being cooped up in the house all the time, especially if you're an extrovert. Um, I don't know if I said that word right, but you get the gist. Um, it's hard to like just stay cooped up in the house all day, every day, and there's only so much I could do in the house before I tend to like start going wacko. Um, so yeah, I had to get out this weekend. I got my little outside fix. Enjoyed the weather, the sun. Um, got me some vitamin D. And yeah, I enjoyed some girl energy, like I said, and I just vibed out. So you should be seeing that on my last video when it posts on this Friday. And so that's what I did. So now this week, I'm just probably going to be a little bit more tucked in indoors. I have a lot to do. Um, First thing I want to do is to clean this office, get it organized so I can start revamping and redecorating. Um, there's a lot of random stuff in here as I'm looking around, and some things I do need to get rid of. Um, but yeah, I'm looking for a bookshelf. I'm looking for two bookshelves actually to put my body body care stuff on. I am a body care fanatic as well. Um, I love to smell good. I do a whole little routine shower, and actually I've been revamping. I elevated my routine shower thanks to all the influencers out there, layering scents and putting things together. It just really come out nice. I noticed a difference. The scents do last long, especially when you go outside, you be outside for a long time, wind is blowing, you come back out inside and you smell like an outdoor factory. That's what my mom used to call it. When you come in, child, you smell like an outdoor factory. So you get that smell of, outdoors on you when you come back in. But I noticed that when you layer your things and you don't have that type of smell going on, and your scent is still refreshed, and I like that. And so I have been really um, diving deep. I love Bath and Body Works. I don't know what it is, but that the ingredients in their things works with my skin. It lasts long. It keeps me moistured. Um, I'm a Dove lover. I use Dove a lot. It keeps me soft and moistured. And those are the two things that I do like. I will put some pictures up. Actually, I will put what I use today um, on this video to, just give you a glimpse of what I use. But yeah, that's pretty much what I like to do. A little overwhelmed with, not overwhelmed, but I'm really focused on achieving goals and being disciplined. And so today I kind of started a little late, but I said I wanted to get up and be in my office by 10 a.m. Um, which I wasn't in. I was late. I was here about 10:15, which is not bad, but still, I really wanted to be in my office ready to work by 10. So I'm still working on that. I gave myself a little 2 hour break. Went outside for a little bit, like I said, grabbed some things that I needed, and then came back. Um, and I was little late coming back because I wanted to be back here by 3, but I didn't get back here till like 3:30. I didn't get back into the office by 3:30, and so and I didn't eat, so I had a late lunch slash dinner. So yeah, it's a work in progress, but as long as I keep at it and being mindful of those things, it'll work out. Um, and I just need to really start to minimize how much I give my attention to others. Um, I mean, including responding to text messages, helping my mother, helping family members. Well, I wouldn't say family members, just my mom. And my dad doesn't really bother me, but he's up there in age, so I have to tend to him a few times. But it's I want to limit the amount of time I do help them. Just set a date and time to do that with them, and then that will be it. Because I don't want to keep interrupting myself and my time of growth to help others where I need to be able to where I need to be focusing on what I need to accomplish. And so today, even though it was a rocky start, there were some slight interruptions. I still was able to get a lot done. I was able to send out some emails, was able to get some responses back, and I feel good about that. I really do. So I'm gonna continue on my pace, and yeah, hopefully, um, I will find my niche, and you know, it'll get more easier as time moves on. Um, I think that's a big thing that I probably would talk about more in the later days following. Um, because being a middle aged woman and having parents that are, in their older age, tend to have to be there. We tend to have to be there for them, especially, if your parents are not in any type of like care facility or anything like that. And like my parents who were like, don't put me in the home. Okay, don't put you in a home. Don't put you in an elderly care home. I understand. But all in all, it's a challenge too because although they don't want to be looked for or cared for by strangers, I understand that. I get that because, there's a lot around that, a lot of discrimination, a lot of elderly abuse. So, and if you know. And so I really do take that in consideration, but it's hard, child. I tell you, it's hard. I'm like, I'm about this close, okay? This close, but um, I'm gonna do the best I can to be there for them, and if I could provide help closer to home and to their home, that would be better because I can be there to check up on them more often and make sure that they can provide it help that they need, um, and being taken care of properly. Um, they're not, they're very independent. My parents are, um, they try to do a lot for themselves, pay their bills and all that, clean up their house. My dad, he does that. He's he's up there in age, but he still try to stay moving. Walk the dogs, clean the house. My mom has a disability which limits her stability, but she still moves on with her walker, and she goes to the gym and rides the bike and stuff. So that's good, and I encourage them to keep moving and keep going, um, which is good for them and their health. So I'm appreciative of that. But you know, um, I still need to focus on what I need to do for myself to grow my business and my empire. That's what I'm going to call it, my empire, because that's what I am trying to build, a small little empire, and you know, live con- live happy. Like I always told myself, there's a certain lifestyle I want to live, and in order to do so, I have to work for myself and I have to generate multiple incomes. So this is the start of it. Um, you know, um, there are times where I feel like I wish I've started earlier in life, but you know, there's a lot that goes into it. I can name a few, like transgeneration trauma, generational trauma, things that came up from your parents and from them parents, and it affected you um, in life. And um, being African American or Black, whatever, whichever you like to use, whatever term you like to use, um, in our community, that's really something that impact us for years. Is generational trauma, and so for me, I had to do a lot of learning, a lot of reading, a lot of experiencing, just to get that understanding of what it means and why it took me so long to get here. So I try not to beat myself up about it, and just appreciate the experience that I have created for myself. I've always worked, though. I've always kept a job. So I have multiple skills in that area. Um, but just to find one career, one thing to do, or, you know, not even one thing, just finding creativity in building wealth was something that I was lacking. And in order for me to do so, I had to go back to school. So that's what I did. I went back to school, and this is where I'm at now. So, yeah, we can dive deep into that in the coming days. I hope that I can make this video long enough and interesting enough for you guys to watch it, um, because I feel like there is a lot of mental instability in our community, and it's not talked about enough. And I just hope that this video reaches those communities and inspires someone else to talk about their generational trauma and their struggles of getting to where they are. um, I knew from a long time ago. Like I said, I've always told myself that there's a certain lifestyle I want to live, and so I knew that I had to break out of that mindset and tell myself that I can do it. Um, there are people out there that are more privileged than I am who was able to get that wisdom and knowledge way before me, and that's okay. Everybody's journey is different. But for me, it wasn't so easy. Like I said, I had to learn a lot of things on my own. And so that's probably why it's taken me so long to get where I am. But I am blessed to be able to say that I'm here and I'm thriving and I'm doing it through all the blood, tears, sweat. I'm doing it. And, the mental disparities that, challenged me. And what I do know is that I've learned a lot in the last few years, especially being a excuse me, um, psychology major student. I've got my bachelor's degree in clinical psychology. And so, like I said, I'm moving on to becoming a therapist. And I have learned so much about myself within these last 7 years. And that has pretty much broke me down. um, I mean, I was like, geez, I am depressed. Like, what? So um, that was an eye opener, you know, learning about myself, why, I may had some um, struggles with academics. Like I said, I went to college after I graduated from high school, but it didn't stick. I did not, I was not able to focus in school. And then it came to me, I was like, well, maybe school is not meant for me, or I'm not smart enough to be in college. Like, these are the thoughts that were going through my head at the time that discouraged me from continuing on. Um, I think that I got some type of enlightenment when I started working with children as a preschool teacher several years ago, um, where I had to go back to school and get my some credits in early childhood education. And so that's what I did. But again, I still wasn't focused enough because I still didn't understand what I wanted to do with my life. And so I did get the credits that I needed to become a preschool teacher. But again, I did not graduate with any type of a bachelor's degree or even an associate degree. So, you know, that whole experience of being in college at that time wasn't something that um, I thought that I could achieve. And so I always thought, well, this is going to be it. I'm going to find me a 9 to 5 job, making minimum wage to like a little over minimum wage, and wait for my check every 2 weeks and live paycheck to paycheck. And so I kind of settled in that. Um, I didn't really, like, I knew I wanted more, but I was like, it's not in my, you know, that's not in my life. Like, that's not what I'm going to be able to achieve. Um, but in 2017, something changed, and we'll get into that in another video. But experiencing my own traumatizing relationship, um, you know, um, going through a toxic relationship that I dealt with for 8 years prior to going back to school. And it was just too much. And I kind of thought to myself, like, what am I doing? Why am I sitting here taking all this abuse, physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally abuse? This is not me. This is not what I imagined in my life. Like, no. And so one day I just decided to leave it all behind. And I did. And I couldn't believe that I did it, because in the midst of all of it, I thought to myself, this is what I deserved. This is my life. But something in the back of my head kept telling me, Mika, this is not where you belong. Get out. Get out. And like I said, I've always been a YouTube fanatic. And back then, there were some YouTube vloggers, and I don't even know who they were, but I was just searching. I would, wake up and think about, how to do this or how to get out of a, abusive relationship. And I was just searching, and all that information helped me um, build the strength to do so. And so, like I said, one day I woke up and I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Um, and I became homeless, and I didn't even care. I was like, that's fine. Like, the only way I was able to get that person out, it was just to become homeless. And that's what I did. And, you know, um, I was just so determined to make myself better that I focused on working. I worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs actually. I, woke up, went running every morning before work, went to work, and did all that. So I will dive deep into that situation later. But I'm just saying this to say, you know, I've come a long way, and I'm very much so proud of myself, and I'm going to keep thriving. And um, I'm liking who I am today and where I'm going. I don't think that I've changed much as a person. I still believe in love. I still believe that I will have my love story at the end of the day because of who I am. Um, and I know that that's going to happen. Um, I don't want to do too much of talking about my relationship currently, but I just feel like it is a work in progress. Um, but it's a healthier work in progress. I could say that it's healthy, and I appreciate that so much, because where I came from and where I am now is like a 180. And so many people have said it to me, and they've seen it, and friends and family were very concerned about me, but they have seen the changes that I've made, and I was like, okay, girl, you ain't playing. I was like, nope. Mm-mm. So yeah, that's a little bit about my background. Um, and yeah, so I want to talk a lot to my girlies out there, who are struggling in their own, journey into life, and say, like, it is not easy. I'm going to say that first and foremost. But if you get that strength, if you get that wisdom and continue to beat that in your head, like, associate yourself with positive energy. And, YouTube is like the best platform right now. You can search up anything on YouTube, even TikTok, any of these platforms. You can search it up and get that information and build yourself up, and continue on elevating yourself into a positive and well-being place. And, you know, focus on that. Focus on getting to know who you are, what your likes, what your dislikes, what you're going to take and what you're not going to take. I've learned a lot of what, I've learned a lot on how to say no, um, to situations that I know that's not good for me and stay away from them. Even when it comes to friends, sometimes I wouldn't say that I've had some toxic friendships. Um, but I just know that the friendships wasn't going the route that I wanted to go. And sometimes, it happens that way. And so just being able to recognize that and just be able to let go, it's a working process, So give yourself grace, but also make sure you're doing the work in the background for that day to come, for that change, and just know that you'll get through it. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. So I guess to not say too much, um, we can dive deep into some generational trauma later on. I'll probably pick you guys up tomorrow and talk about that. Um, yeah, but right now I need to get to doing these clinical hours and making sure they're signed so I can get credit for it. Because, child, I'm not trying to be in school. I ain't trying to be in school no longer than I have to. And I am scheduled to graduate in fall of 2025, which is around the corner. So I need to make sure that these hours are in what I need to be, and so I can get my graduate degree and keep it pushing, okay? Because being in school for so long, it's a blessing, but it is, woo, it's strenuous. I ain't gonna lie. Um, Especially being at my age. Like if I was 20, 25 or so in school, I probably could knock it out no time soon and be like, okay, that was easy. Let me go for my doctorate. Oh no. Mm-mm. Masters is fine. That's where I'm at. I mastered it, and that's what we gonna do. Um, because it's a lot. Because it's not just the school aspect, but my life, my personal life around it. Um, being independent, living on my own, paying my own bills while trying to go to school. And thank God for my parents, for being there. I just can't imagine if they're not. And those who have done it without parents being help, you guys are rock stars. Those who are in school and have children, you guys are rock stars. Like, come on now, because I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. You can't say that you can't do it unless you're in it. Just like I didn't say I couldn't do school, but I'm doing it. But that's just a whole different level, child. Like having kids, taking care of kids, them coming in and out of your house, your room, asking you questions, mommy, mommy, mommy. Oh, I can only imagine. And so, y'all doing it. Y'all rock stars for sure. But yeah, I think that middle age and going back to school is a lot. Um, but people, if you're determined, you'll do it. And people are doing it and have done it. And so I remember my graduation, I graduated with a 70 or 75-year-old. Listen, nah. She did that. I was like, she kind of made me cry because I was like, look at this. Look at God. 70? she was determined. She was like, I am going back to school. I am getting my degree, and said that I am even if she retired and she doesn't do anything with that degree. She got it and she did it, and that's all that matters. She reached for the stars. And so yeah, you know, that's what it is. I've always had this one saying, and I don't know where I got the quote from, but I wrote it on my chalkboard and put it on my wall. I've always had motivational quotes and stuff around my house because it was needed. But there was one that says, dedication, determination, and discipline equals success. So true. Dedication, determination, and discipline equals success. Um, and a new one for me now is consistency. That's my new key term now, moving forward. Is consistency, because I've noticed that that is something that is really needed, to build up whatever it is you're building up, whether it's your career, health, losing weight, anything. It's consistency, and that is I will I discipline and consistency goes hand in hand, but being consistent, I think it takes the cake, because anything can happen at a peak's moment. We don't even know. I don't even know what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever the case is. But I know that through it all, I still have to stay consistent and make these videos, um, and get myself out there. And so consistency is one of my key terms, moving forward. And so yeah, like I said, I want to be decorating. I will show you guys this office space shortly, so you can see what I'm working with. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas on how to work this space. But again, I will put that picture up that inspired me of what I wanted to look like, onto the video. Um, but if you guys have any suggestions or anything, I'm very open to it. Um, and we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, I will pick you guys up. I don't think it's going to be tonight. But I'm going to pick you guys up maybe tomorrow. No, definitely tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow, because this video needs to be going out, third video, and I need to start working on the next one. So it will go out not this Friday, next Friday, because this Friday, the last video that I did is going to be out. So please check that out. Make sure you check that out. And like I said, subscribe, please, to my channel, so you can see what is coming on, and keep me accountable. Please, like, message me and be like, excuse me, it's Friday. Where's the video? Yeah, so I can keep pushing. All right, so I'll pick you guys up later. Okay, girl, let me show you what I got going on. So let me go grab that pistachio. So this is what I picked up from Trader Joe's. It's a pistachio liqueur. So we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna mix it in with the Smirnoff vodka vanilla. I was looking for the absolute vanilla, but they didn't have it. I usually don't do Smirnoff, but that's the only thing I got, child. So we're gonna do this one with that. And then I'm gonna add a lime in it, for some, I don't know, sour. This is what I found on TikTok. I mean, yeah, TikTok. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. So I don't have a shaker. So we're just gonna do what we can. Let me scoot back so you can see what I'm doing. So yeah, let me cut this real quick. Use this board. Move this out the way. So let me cut this real quick. One strong. I hope this is gonna taste good, but we gonna find out today. Okay, so a little bit of ice. I had some leftover ice. Oh, it's already melting. Let's see if this will work. I have an ice maker, so I think I'm just gonna use that ice maker. Yeah, because this ain't gonna do it. I could take a couple of this ice here. And then I'm going to use some of this ice in here. I wish I had a shaker because it probably would have been better, but I don't. So we're going to do what we do. And then what I did see is that they use this. Oh, come on. You know, we use our mouth for everything. Okay. So, I don't know if I'm supposed to shake it up. It don't say, but let's see. And then I'm supposed to pour it probably to like right here. Let's see. It looks good though. Okay, okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay, then I'm gonna get my shot glass because I don't want to put too much. They say don't put too much of the vodka. Let's see. Whew. Whew. A little bit more. Oh. Okay, then take my lime. Okay, squeeze some in there. Okay. Let's see how this is gonna taste. Let me stir it up. And this is what it came out to looking like. So here we go. Ooh, it's like it's a dessert drink for sure. Very smooth, textured, creamy, sweet. I can taste, it's like a pistachio aroma. It doesn't have like a strong taste of pistachio, which is good. Okay, okay, it's pretty good. I mean, it wouldn't be a drink that I would make all the time, but since I already have all the ingredients on it, so I guess I'll be, you know, drinking that because I ain't gonna waste my money now.